We all have different talents and skills, but there are some people out there who are just absolutely extraordinary. The people in this video are amazing, and when you see what they can do, I'm pretty sure you're gonna feel inspired. There are people with mind-blowing visual memory, and then there are people with great drawing abilities. And then there's Stephen Wiltshire, who's good at both things. This guy can look at things and then draw them exactly as they are, with all the details included. This Malaysian guy can pull weights of over 200 tons by simply using his teeth. No wonder they say he's got teeth of steel.
For me to train, I like to get up in the morning and run a marathon before breakfast.
Dean is known as the ultra runner. He's been able to run distances further than most people on Earth while enduring some of the most challenging weather conditions. This includes a run around the South Pole where temperatures were way below 25 degrees Celsius. How can you run when it's freezing out there? Well, only Dean knows the answer to that. Isao Mauchi holds many Guinness World Records thanks to the fact that he's a Lado master. And just what's a Lado master? Well, it's someone who's extremely skilled with swords. Some people also say that his sensory abilities have helped him develop these skills, and a lot of the things that he does rely on his reflexes and not on his sight. He is known as the eye-popping man, and when I say popping, I'm talking about a crazy ability to pop both eyes 95% out of their sockets. After many medical tests, doctors can't explain how a person can do something like this, but I'm sure there's a good explanation somewhere. When you feel no pain, you probably feel indestructible. That's why Tim Cridlin used this ability to entertain people by pushing skewers and needles through various parts of his body. He didn't feel a thing, but I'm gonna cringe just watching it. This group of people from Tibet can change the temperature in their bodies simply by using their minds. It's been recorded that some of them were able to change it by 8 degrees Celsius, which is impressive in itself. Lindsay can run fast, while pushing a baby in a stroller. She became the fastest person to complete a half marathon while doing this in just 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 34 seconds.
I kept a list of words according to their shape and texture.
David's skills would be quite useful to many of us, especially those who are still in school. He can solve complex mathematical problems in his head. No calculators or paper needed. Ben can see through sounds, and yes, you heard that right. When he was only 3, Ben lost his eyesight. Throughout his life, he learned to make clicking sounds with his mouth and use the echo of the sounds to assess his surroundings. This allows him to figure out if there are any obstacles in his path. Daniel can dislocate his arms and legs and move his entire upper body. This guy is known as the Lion Whisperer. He interacts with wild animals as if they were the closest of friends.
To me, God is cold.
They call him the Iceman, and that's because he can withstand temperatures that would probably kill or at least harm most of us. The most impressive thing is that he's way beyond his 50s, and he discovered his hidden ability when he was in his 20s. He said he decided to jump in a freezing lake on a cold winter night, and it felt so good to him.
Meet Muhammad Rasheed.
Muhammad Rasheed got recognition after becoming the person who was able to crush 77 drink cans in less than 60 seconds.
If you're a collector and you know art, you just have to see these paintings to actually believe.
Artists benefit from the use of perception of color, but Concetta Antico has an extra ability to her advantage. She has something called tetrachromacy. This is the condition of possessing 4 types of cone cells in the eye. Normally people only have 3 types of cone cells and are able to see around 1 million colors. However, Concetta has 4 types of cone cells and she can see 100 million colors. Miroslav Magala can raise materials made out of metal, transport them through the air, and then attach them to his body simply by using mind control. It's psychokinesis at its best, and the ability has earned him the title of Magnetic Man. Ruanting can write calligraphy with the water he shoots from his eyes, and they're not simple tears. He actually sucks the water with his nose and then sprays it on paper by using his tear ducts. He discovered this odd and gross ability while swimming in the river when he was a child. One time he swallowed water and accidentally discovered that he could shoot it out with his eyes. It's perhaps one of the most shocking things that anyone's really ever seen.
I'm trying to pull this 7.5 ton bus, which is a London bus, a red one.
This man holds more than 30 world records, and one of the most impressive things that he's done is pulling a double-decker bus with his hair. He's also managed to lift 85 kilograms of weight in his ears and pulled a 7.4 aircraft with them. This Iron Man has shown his amazing skills in some of the weirdest possible ways. Sometimes people get recognition for some of the weirdest ideas ever. In the case of Kevin Shelley, he got famous after setting a world record by breaking more than 40 wooden toilet seats with just his head. This 50-year-old man from Taiwan is a martial arts grandmaster of Iron Crotch, a discipline that apparently has 60,000 followers around the globe. And in case you haven't figured it out yet, well, Iron Crotch involves the use of your crotch to prove your abilities. Tu Jinsheng impressed the world when he attached his genitals to a truck and pulled it several yards for a show.
You will actually need to position the microphone at the anus
This guy is a professional farter. Yeah, you heard that right. He somehow discovered that he can take in air through his rear, retain it, and let it out whenever he feels like it. Sometimes people discover their hidden abilities by experimenting and trying weird things, such as the case of Wei Ming Tang, who discovered that he could use his ears to inflate balloons. His amazing skill comes from the fact that his ears leak air, so he can do all sorts of crazy tricks. The Sherpas of Nepal are among the exclusive group of people who can survive up in the mountains at altitudes where no other human being would be able to stay for too long. After extensive research, scientists found out that most Tibetans have a gene that allows them to use less oxygen than average humans, and that's why they can survive in higher places where the air is thinner.
First in 1957.
Tuesday?
That's right.
After getting his head slammed during a baseball game, Orlando Sorrell developed intense mental skills. He discovered that he was able to do crazy calendar calculations like knowing how many Mondays there were given in a year. He could also remember every single detail of a given day. Was it a blessing or a curse? I don't know how to feel about it, but I'm sure his skills were useful during crazy school days. Elizabeth Sulzer's senses are all mixed up. She can see colorful sound waves and literally taste the flavor of music. At first, she thought all of us were capable of doing this, but one day she realized that nobody else had these skills, and she felt very alone. Maybe give her a call if you've had similar experiences. I'm sure she'd appreciate it.
Staying in balance is constantly moving and making little corrections.
This stuntman has tried the unthinkable, even though he claims he gets anxiety every now and then. Some of his famous acts include riding a bicycle upside down while being on a tightrope over a canyon, and doing handstands on a bar while hanging under a hot air balloon. Liam has superhuman strength, and that's because he has a myostatin deficiency, which is the protein that's supposed to limit the growth of muscles. So since he doesn't have that, his muscle growth is uninhibited. Before turning 2, he was already able to move furniture around his house, and that's a superhero kid right there. You can hit this guy with a lot of electricity and nothing bad'll happen to him. In the 80s, he set his first world record after taking 20,000 volts of electricity without suffering any damage. Certainly that's not possible for most of us, so please, don't even dare to try something like this. Did you know that you can squirt milk from your eyes? Of course not, because not many people on Earth can do that, except for İlker Yılmaz from Turkey. And he's not just any shooter. He holds the record for the furthest milk ever squirted from the eyes after he shot out milk to a distance of almost 300 centimeters. This Shaolin Monk is able to withstand sharp objects. One time he had a power drill against his temple for about 10 seconds without breaking his skin. Here's another flexible dude. This guy's right foot can be turned to 157 degrees and his left foot to 143 degrees. That is the largest foot rotation ever recorded. Do you know the value of pi? It's an infinite number, and all I remember is 3.14. And then I don't know where it goes after that because I really don't care. It is an infinite number though, but Roger Mina managed to memorize up to 70,000 decimal places. That is the most decimal places ever learned by a human. Natalia is able to see inside people's bodies, and yes, I mean that. She's the X-ray girl, and she can look inside people's bodies to figure out what makes them sick. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Woo Kyung created his own set of slinky tricks to promote the toy as a sport, hoping that people would follow his example and try some tricks of their own. He uploaded videos and got a lot of attention after people saw that he was able to do with this simple plastic toy. And just like that, we made it to the end of our video. Which of these 40 amazing skills was the most shocking? Are there any crazy skills you want to tell us about? Let us know in the comment section down below. With all that said and done, I'll see you all next time. Later, everybody.